Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks you for tuning in to Catch the Drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, see, that's Gary.
That's right? Gary. He's back.
I'm back, baby. Here.
And no technical difficulties like last week.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's not even go there, shall we? It was fun, though.
It was fun. It was enjoyable.
Good show. Working with Dan's always fun. He's a fun guy.
Yes.
Okay, so what we do on The Drift every Saturday is go over the news.
You need to know.
That we put on thedailydrift.com. So make sure you're going there and checking it out. See, we snapped right into it, just like that.
Yeah. I thought I went off cue for a second there.
No, you were right on the money. So, yeah, if you want to email me, Gary at thedailydrift.com, or you can call into the show, 734-822-1600. We're going to talk about lots of good stuff today. The Trump speech last night. We're going to talk about Korea. We're going to talk about, we got a lot of stuff covered on Linda's show last hour. So yes. That was awesome. Thank you, Linda and Tyrone, for giving us that extra hour. It was kind of fun. Putting on my different persona, right? I can do that.
He's drinking caffeine now. Actually, you're under water now, right?
Okay, let's take care of our sponsor this half hour. Claves Marina. Rotten dock got you down? Well, get rid of that old nasty dock because it's breaking your back. Get something new. That some of the stuff that they've got nowadays makes it so easy to put in. We've been buying some at our little marina slip that we have at our house, and they got the wheels on it and everything else, and it just rolls right in. So spend that extra money, upgrade your dock, and get something that'll last you a lifetime. You can reach them at 734-426-4532. That's 734-426-4532. They're located in Pinckney on McGregor Road, or you can go to clavesmarina.com. That's Klaves marina.com. Great people, great place. Ryan's out there. That's who I deal with most of the time. Good place. Go to Claves Marina and get yourself some new dock, but they also do boats. Sell boats, lay up boats for fall, you name it, they do all that good stuff.
Now, you think about this, you take the boss out or you take an important customer out, client, yes, and you want to take them on a boat ride.
Yes.
And you know where to step on your dock, but they don't, you forget. That could be a bad thing to do, so definitely get that dock taken care of.
You're looking at your boss, and he's got his leg up to the knee in the dock. You're like, yeah,
and the carper nibbling at his toes. Yeah.
That's right. That's terrible stuff. All right, well, I wanted to start with something local, right? Just to get this off my chest, because if I don't do my part, then I have failed in some way. Ron Dozette is a 74-year-old man who lives in my township, Northfield Township, and you've probably heard this on Thyrone's show before. And I met Ron years ago. He won't remember me, but I actually worked for the township part-time years ago. They paid me $25 to go out and take new pictures for the assessor's office and take some measurements, right? So I would go out and meet people, and they're like, what do you want? I'm here from the assessor's office.
Here from the government, and I'm here
to
help.
Get off my property! I don't want you. No, most of the people were very kind, especially when they knew who I was, right? Because
they didn't have a still. That's the ones that had the still that were.
Yeah. and I actually went to his property, and his property is like way up. It's on a hill. It's at a corner of a unbusy intersection. You can't see anything on his property, right? And he had all these cars on his property in a barn and stuff, and a super nice guy. And I said, what do you do? He goes, I just collect them. It's me. It's what I do. I like cars. I work on some of them. I fix them, So he's not running a junkyard, right? It's his own personal collection. He bought them for whatever reason.
He enjoys trees growing out of the hood.
No, I didn't see any like that were that bad, right? I mean, most of them were in reasonable condition.
It's
right?
art.
Maybe it's art.
It's performance
Maybe that's
art.
what he should say.
Yes.
I'm an artist.
Yes.
Anyways, Ron does that. So it's Northfield Township, where I've lived since 1996. And I guess I understand we have laws. We're a nation of laws. And if laws are being broken for some reason, I understand that. This man's had them there for decades, right? He's been collecting his cars for decades. He's not selling parts and stuff out of them. And recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, since I've lived in Northfield Township way back in 96, it's always been not customer friendly. And when I say that, it's not because it's a business. Government kind of is a business because the customer is the taxpayer, and the citizens who live and vote there. And they've never, it doesn't matter whether it was people that I elected or people that I didn't elect, they've never been very customer oriented, right? They open up the township offices after we all go to work. They close the township offices before you get off work. And so how are you supposed to get in and ask a question, file a zoning permit? You got to take time off work. That is not customer oriented. And I'm sure it's not just Northfield Township. I'm sure most local townships are like this. Ooh, because we're going to get in late, we're going to leave early, we're going to take our hour lunch. And you know what? That is not what government is for.
Sounds like a feudal society.
We work for them. That's
you were
what
the
it's coming
serfs,
down to.
and they are the lords, yes.
Yeah, and I'm getting tired of it. You know, Northfield Township, and I've spent lots of time and effort trying to get good people to run for office there. You get them in, and then they kind of get all lackluster. You know, I voted you in to be the change maker. Give me one day a week where the township office is open late enough for us, the average taxpayer, to get in and utilize the service. Pay our bills, ask a question, do whatever.
Secretary of State does that.
Secretary of State does that. Thank you, Ruth Johnson.
Or have a Saturday off, or a Saturday morning, something. Do something.
Yes, do something for the people that pay your bloody salaries. You know what I mean? That's what aggravates the crap out of me. And so in this instance, yes, Mr. Dawzett is breaking whatever law or ordinance, because I'm sure we had a zoning ordinance went in 71, whatever, and I'm not sure how that plays all into this.
He should be grandfathered.
I don't know that he beats the 71 or I don't know. But here's the point. So they have this ordinance officer looking for the most inane issues to take care of. And yet if you drive downtown Whitmore Lake, which is Barker Road and Main Street, the buildings there look like crap. We've got one with a blown-off roof and a blown-off fascia, and there's no blight ordinance officer in there saying, fix that, because you make our township look like garbage. Yeah. And yet this blight and ordinance officer is bothering this 74-year-old guy on a piece of property that nobody knows until now. And the radios are out. The radio stations are out there talking to this guy. The TV stations, Steve Garagiola was out there doing a video of this, bringing all kinds of bad publicity to the township. And yet, take a drive, and I'm going to tell, if they do a follow-up on any of these local TV stations, take a drive to downtown Whitmore Lake, which is Northfield Township, and look at the piece of crap buildings down there that this ordinance officer is ignoring.
But it's an eyesore to the private pilots who have
up
to
in the
fly
sky,
overhead.
right?
Yes, they're like, what?
But they don't know.
You know, I see it. I see this as an investment for his descendants here. He's saving these autos till they become. They're all classics. They're all going to become
many of them
high value, and he's just storing them there as an investment. Some people buy gold.
Yeah, I think the rule they're saying he's violating is no outside storage, blah blah blah. You know, and God knows it would cost them way too much money. But they went at it and said, you need to get these things, 20 cars a month out of here. I don't know that 20 cars is reasonable. He's a 74-year-old guy. I don't know that the used car market is that good that you're going to be able to sell these things off. And some of them are quite unique. They are valuable. But it just bothers me that they're making a big stink about this old man, right, and his property that nobody can see. Nobody even knows it's there until now because of the media. And yet they allow publicly the downtown area looks like crap. You know, nobody in the township is telling our county commission to come out. How about you send a street sweeper up once a year? And get the stones and dirt and stuff off, you know. And I blame some of the property owners who don't, clean up their own gutter. I mean, we used to all do that, right? But a lot of people don't do that anymore. But I haven't seen a street sweeper in Whitmore Lake in 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I used to live right on Main Street. We used to have them once a month. Not anymore.
So I'm not cognizant of this. Whitmore Lake is in Northfield Township?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. People don't, they say Northfield? No, Northfield.
Yeah, Northfield
is really Whitmore Lake, right?
Like Tom from Northfield who calls into Dick's show. And
Yes, it's Northfield Township. But
who should be listening to this
Lake.
show too.
Yeah.
But
at one point years ago, there was talk of doing a little village of Whitmore Lake, and that kind of fell through because people didn't want to have high taxes. But which brings up another sore spot for me. Northfield Township, as I recall, it may have changed recently, we were second highest taxes in Washtenaw County at one time. Yeah, brutal. And it's our own fault. We paid the money to the school district to have a nice new high school.
That now you got to rent out to neighboring.
And now we have to rent out. But big, beautiful new high school. The same people that voted in that giant tax increase to build a nice are the same people that said, oh, we don't want 400 homes across the street from that big new school where that empty farm field is. I was about ready to lose my mind back in the day.
I remember that discussion. I remember hearing it on I think their own show. I think there was talk about that.
I'm sure we did. Yeah. Back in the day, it was ugly because we got this group of nitwits out there who newbies, right? Not in my backyard, NIMBYs. Mm-hmm. They move into town for their little 5-acre hobby farm, and then they want to close the door behind them and not let anybody else come in.
People who move in Plymouth next to Medital Airport and then want to shut it down because it's a noisy airport.
Exactly.
Move next to the gun range out in Saline, Tri-County, and they say, oh, by the way, that's too loud.
Yeah. I mean, the township is spending all this effort on this dude, paying a lawyer some exorbitant amount of money to sue this guy and make life miserable for him. In the meantime, we've got a research, technology, and manufacturing district that's sitting empty because our taxes are so high that nobody in their right mind is going to bring a business there, right? And we've got the first 3 exits north of Ann Arbor, which should be the 3 most commercially built-out exits anywhere and bringing tons of money into the township.
But with no roundabouts.
Well, we're getting them now.
Yeah.
But they don't want that commercial business, and then they complain about money and let's raise the taxes some more. Hey, the stupidity in Northfield Township is absolutely astounding. It really is. So I'm off my soapbox. I just wanted to bring that out there. It's a chance for me to bang them over the head.
Well,
and say,
this is America, though. This is America. You get the government you vote in.
You do.
You get the government you deserve.
And I had it was the choice of picking between dumb and dumber. Mm-hmm. I went with the dumb instead of the dumber last time around. But yeah, it is what it is. So. I can't complain. Derek, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get into your topic.
Oh, cool.
The Trump gig. Yes. So we're going to get into that, and that'll take a few minutes. So we'll see you all on the other side of the break.
Hello, Wham listeners. I'm Edwin Hoffman, host of Speaking of Art. Join me Saturdays at 3 p.m. We'll circumnavigate the world of art with lively interviews with renowned artists, collectors, dealers, museum directors and curators, writers, actors, musicians, and philanthropists. Close to home or far afield, we'll visit museums, galleries, and historic sites. We'll explore the lives of famous artists and their times, discuss current trends in art, architecture, design, and antiques collecting, as well as ways to grow and protect a collection. But the main component is you, and what you can take from the show to enhance the creativity of your life. Speaking of Art is one of the great conversations in your week, lively and full of relevance. So nestle into an overstuffed chair and join our room full of connoisseurs every Saturday at 3 on Wham! Talk 1600. Speaking of art, it's about civilization, yours.
On the terrifying night of November 8, 1938, Germans destroyed what they could of the Jews. Synagogues were burnt to the ground, thousands of Jewish businesses and homes were destroyed, 91 Jews were killed, and 30,000 more were thrown into concentration camps. That night is called Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. Earlier that year, with anti-Semitism growing in Germany, the U.S. Congress proposed a refugee bill that would allow the Jews to move here. Franklin Roosevelt had that bill killed. 8 days after Kristallnacht, Congressman Charles A. Buckley proposed the Alaskan Development Bill. This would allow the Jewish refugees to move to and develop Alaska. Roosevelt again turned his back on the Jews and said no. From that time on, Hitler went on a killing spree and killed 2/3 of all the Jews in Europe. Over 11 million people were killed in the Holocaust. If we are to learn from history, we learn we can't afford another president turning his back on the Jews. I am Pastor Richard Dietering, bringing you another moment of clarity in American history.
To succeed in today's business environment, your business needs to be seen by as many customers as possible. The Current newspaper serves Washtenaw, Oakland, and Livingston counties. Advertising in the Current is the best way to get your money's worth out of your print media budget because the Current has a unique venue for local content, common sense, and your business message. Getting your business message into thousands of homes utilizing the Current newspaper for mere pennies apiece is the best way to do that. And your ad is also seen online for free. Call Gary Wellings, Chief Editor of The Current, at 734-629-6010. That's 734-629-6010. Or go to currentonline.com. That's COURANT.